rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, cause it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Welcome back to the Orb, you degenerate old school players. It is still cold outside, and you know what that means. Round 2 of the Winter Derby. Now let's take a look at these decks. And here's a look at my Swedish old school deck. I refer to it as Flux Geddon. The 6 cards in the middle are what I want to try and throw down. Energy Flux and Armageddon. I want to eat everyone else's boxes, set them back on lands, and take out any artifacts I may have. I expected to encounter a fair amount of Suchis. The top 16 deck lists were just released today. I didn't see a whole lot of Suchis. A couple of the decks are in there, top 16. Be interesting to see how this plays out. Anyways, my deck just wants to ramp with creatures, birds of paradise, or Llanowar elves. It wants to start dropping threats in the form of, well, starting at 1 o'clock on the clock here with the Argothian Pixies, the Dibs, Sarah Angels, or Urnums. I want to throw those down as quick as possible. Ideally, turn 3, 4, or 5, drop an Armageddon, and just ride that to the wind. I do have swords and disenchants to deal with any threats. I do have some power cards up there: Ancestral, Time Walk, Balance, Brain Geyser, Mana Drain, Aloha. I have my on-colored Moxons in this deck. Everything else I felt like I was spinning my wheels, throwing the off-colors in there with the energy fluxes. I don't want to take out my own resources at the same time. Anyways, let's take a look at my opponent's deck. This cheeky bastard and fellow degenerate old schooler is playing a wicked quick deck. It's really Atogs and Dibs are his only creatures out there. But if you take a step back and look at this deck, everything costs 3 or less to cast. Minus 1 spell is Fireball. Leave it to a big X spell, I guess, is Mind Twist. So 2 out of 60 cost more than 3. Everything else is 3 or less. So he's going to empty his hand in a hurry. I'm sure he wants to hit the wheel or the Time Twister to reload. He does have a burn package in here. But he is short on Chain Lightnings. He has 4 bolts, 4 side blasts. And if you take a step back and look at this deck, everything costs 3 or less minus 2 spells, Fireball and Mind Twist. So definitely emptying that hand. 4 Atog. I love Atog. He has a ton of artifacts to sacrifice to Atog. We can see, I think, 14, 15 artifacts. Some artifacts that do damage too, right? 4 Black Vice. How iconic is Black Vice in Magic, old school Magic the Gathering? 3 Ankh of Mishra for those decks that do need 4 or more. 4 Dibs, play set of Dibs to send in some quick, continuous, I call them continuous lightning bolts, right? 3 every turn, 3 every turn. So they're tough to deal with. Sideboard include a little bit more white. He has the other 2 disenchants, I guess, in case he is facing against robots or heavily enchanted deck. 3 swords for bigger creatures, that way he doesn't have to waste 2 of his resources to take down a Sarah Angel or a Modi. 2 Hurkles, which I love Hurkles. Can stun a player, especially if we get a Time Twister. You slap a Hurkles down, and away their Moxen go. 2 Red Elemental Blasts, 2 Blue Elemental Blasts. The Earthquakes I like, obviously, if he's facing White Weenie. A deck that's going to go wide, a green stompy. Earthquakes, wipe the board, let these aggressive creatures get in for a lot of damage. And then 2 Armageddon for any deck that wants to play, a casting cost that costs more than 4. So I like the Armageddon play. I do like this deck. It is very aggressive. Let's see how the games go. Let's get off to game number 1. And here we're back with game number 1. When you get a chance, please like and subscribe. I still don't know what those things do, But as we gain in on 1,000 views, I'm sure they're going to whisk me away to some type of YouTube royalty. My opponent throws down a Loa and casts a Black Vice and passes to me. I take 3, go to 17. I'm going to take another for my City of Brass that I play and throw birds down on the table. So I'm ramping. He doesn't really care about his Loa. He just is using it for mana. And here comes another Black Vice cast by that Loa again. Oh, that's why he has his draw 3 in hand, Ancestral Recall. That seems like a really good start. Black Vices take me from 17 down to 12. I'm sorry, I was 16 with the City Brass tap. Down to 12 life. This game is going quick. I am just starting my second turn. Tapping my Birds of Paradise for a Llanowar Elf. I'm still staring at 6 cards. That's tough. 6 in hand, 2 Black Vices down. Pass to him. He's drawing with his Loa. Getting some use out of it. Oh no. Going full land destruction. He strip mines my City of Brass. Followed by an immediate Bolt the Bird. All the cards in hand, I go down to 8 and play a new City of Brass. That's not what I want to see. These lands hurt too much. And a Chaos Orb. Pass back to my opponent. He is really going after my mana base, it seems. He's tapping his Loa. Let's see what tricks are up his sleeve. Plays a Volcanic, a Jet, a Pearl. Oh, tapping all 3 for a Chaos Orb and an activation. Let's take a look at this orb flip on the orb. Oh, it is a hit. And he takes out my City of Brass. And another Bolt. I have no mana producing anything in play. That's funny. My deck wanted to do this to my opponents. Doesn't feel so good when it gets done to you. So I have a Tropical Island in play. I pass back to him. I can't do anything. I still have my Chaos Orb. He plays an Atog. That's not good. I'm on 3 life. Drawing. Uh-oh. Does not look good. There's nothing I can do. If I activate an orb, I still have too many cards in hand. And he's going to come in and kill me with Atog, or the Black Vices get me. That was a quick game number 1. As I mentioned before, his deck is very low to the ground and went on a land destruction plan. Took out everything that produces mana on my side of the board. So here we are with game number 2. I'm on the play. Dropping Emerald in the Plains and pass. Opponent starts with a Tundra and a pass. I lay a Strip Mine into an Argothian Pixies. There's some pressure on the board. And there's some pressure removed from the game. I gain 2 life. He gives Swords to Plowshare to my Argothian Pixies. I'm up to 22 and pass back to my opponent. He drops a Volcanic and some Moxen. Looks like a Ruby and an a Sapphire and an Emerald. Passes back to me. I mana ramp into a Soul Ring. We're just going back and forth here, showing off who has the better looking Moxen. Here we go. I drop a Sarah Angel. And it immediately gets side blasted. So I think that's the first damage my opponent's taken. He's down to 18. I'm on 22. He's answering my threats pretty quickly. We still only have 2 land in play. I guess we both do. More mana ramp for me with the Birds of Paradise. I still have 3 in hand. Back to my opponent. He's tapping things. He's disenchanting. Okay, he's back to my mana base. He disenchants my Soul Ring. I can still produce 5, right? 2 mox and a bird and 2 land. I'm using my strip to take him down 1. I eat up his volcanic island, take him off red. He bolts me in response. Wrong. He bolts my Birds of Paradise, and I blue elemental blasted. Pass back to my opponent. Both eating through our cards pretty well. No real threats to see. Here we go. Got a dib in play. 3/4 flyer. Have a bunch of life, so I don't mind the 1 ping a turn. See if my opponent has another answer. Disenchant. My Mox Emerald. Wow, he's still just attacking my mana base. I think I was able to produce 6 mana a few turns ago. I'm back down to 3 is the most I can come up with. My opponent plays a land and time walks. Plays another land. Fireball. Fireball's a dib for 4. Dib down. Passes back to me. Time walk of my own. Time walk turn. And I pass with 4. Wow. My opponent plays a dib, and I immediately have a Swords to Plowshare for him. He's up to 21. I'm on 22. Yeah, we've just traded threats. He's removed a bunch of my mana-producing assets. And now he's playing an Ancestral Recall, so restocking his hand. There's 4 open mana down. Now 5 with a Ruby. Taps 3 for a dib. And another one for a Black Vice. Another answer. It's an altered Swords to Plowshare, so I've taken 2 of his dibs and removed them from the game. I think only, what was it, Ring of Maroof? Bring him back? Something like that. Oh, here we go. Okay. Armageddon. I lose 2 lands. He loses 3. I only have 2 in hand. He's got a Vice down. Oh, great. Answers with a Factory. I answer back with an Argothian Pixies, and I'll stop that Factory in his tracks. And here is Dib number 3 and Black Vice number 2. Black Vices are just scary later for Atogs. It's just late game Atog food, or if he has a draw 7, that 2 Vices on the table will hurt. Especially since I just have a Pearl and a Birds. I come in for 2. He's on 24. He's deciding whether or not to block with the dib. Trying to figure out if I have giant growths in hand. I don't. That'll be our little secret. Takes the 2 and goes to 22. I have 3 cards in hand and pass to my opponent. He's sending in the team. 1 dib, 1 factory. I eat 5 and go to 17. Take my draw. Play out a City of Brass. And pass back to my opponent. So that dib's going to start doing some work. Opponent goes down to 20 in his upkeep. I fall to 14. He casts a Soul Ring and passes back to me. Savannah into a Llanowar Elf. I still have 2 cards in hand. Coming in with a dib again, that puts me down to 11. I'm going to take a point and go to 10 here. Tapping 5. It's going to be a Sarah Angel. Oh no, Brain Geyser. I'm sorry. A little Ancestral Recall of my own, except it cost me a point of life and 5 mana. But at this point, I'll take it. I need the card advantage. Go up to 5 cards. I need some answers quick. This dib is putting me down to 7. My opponent's still on 18. Looks like I'm playing a Disenchant in my upkeep. Take out a Black Vice. I go to 4 in hand. No Vice damage. Stay on 7. Did take away some resources. Oh, I'm casting a Regrowth. And going to 6, I'm regrowthing another Swords to Plowshare. I almost have a full playset of dibs removed from the game. There's 3 sitting outside the game. It's giving my opponent a total of 9 life, but the Swords to Plowshare, it's not what they gain, it's what they lose, right? Nothing like tapping 1 white for remove from the game. Ooh, low of my own. He does still have a Vice out, so on 6 life I can't really ever get to that range unless I take care of that other Vice. Dib of my own. Okay, this thing needs to do some work since my opponent's on 21. And I'm on 6. My opponent just keeps playing factories. Mishra's factories are pretty good. Send my dib in. He's not the best blocker in the world, unless he absolutely has to be. I'm on 5, and my opponent's deck still is full of burn, like we saw earlier. He's activating 2 factories, sending them in. Pixie's blocking 1, and a Divine Offering to the other. So he pumps the ones that the Pixies block, so it'll stay alive. I gain nothing. I'm on 4 life from the dib. That's not great. I think I'm putting my opponent down to 15. I have 1 card in hand, playing more Llanowar Elf. Just as bodies to chuck in front of the choo-choo train that we call the Mishra's Factory. 2 of them in this case. Oh, he taps 2 for a balance. Oh, this is brutal. That is pretty well the card my deck fears the most. Balance, he just got a, whatever, 5 for 1. I show him I'm holding the balance, and it doesn't matter. That lone card couldn't be played because of those 2 Mishra's Factories, and he deals the last 4 points of damage to finish this game up. Real quick, 2-0 for my opponent. Quick look at what we sideboarded here. So, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night.